Welcome to Attican Plays Medieval Dynasty.
I used to have a simple life. Whatever needed doing round the farm, I'd do it. Being the eldest son, it's tough. But at least we had a living, and our plates were never empty. Then, the war came. I lost everything overnight. The last thing I remember is Father pushing me away, yelling for me to run, to live. At first, I didn't know what to do. Then, I remembered. A story my mother once told me. A story about my uncle, Jordan. He made a modest fortune up north, in a peaceful valley far away from the war. For weeks I held on to that thought, until the valley from my mother's stories. I could see it. This is where I can start a new life.
All right, hi, this is Attican, and welcome to the start of a new series, a new game, and for me, a new genre. This is a first-person survival, role-playing, little bit of base building kind of game. Totally different from my usual tycoon game. And I have to tell you, I've played it for about a week and a half now, and I'm just absolutely addicted to it. Love the game. Totally enjoying playing it, and in fact it's keeping me from doing other videos on that other game that I'm sure many of you are looking for me to do, because I've just been stuck playing this. I can't stop playing it, and I thought, well, if I'm going to keep playing it, I ought to at least make videos on it, and maybe some people will enjoy it. This it's just so different. So right now we've got a task to go find the Castellan, the leader of the area, called Untitled, and we're following him. He's that gold marker up there. We've been following that, and now we're going to have a conversation with Untitled. And I kind of slowed down a little. I kind of flipped through this. I've done it 2 or 3 times now, so I didn't want to read it again. I'm certainly not going to read it to you, because with my accent, they certainly wouldn't sound like they're from wherever these people are from, unless they're for hillbillies from West Virginia. I can't do it. But you can use the pause key and kind of read this if you want to get a little more immersion into what's going on. But the bottom line is, where this young guy's lost his whole family. He's gone to this valley where his uncle had gone and had done well. His uncle has died, but this Untitled remembers him and really liked him, so he's going to cut us some slack and tell us we can have any land we want, provided we put it to good use and we pay our taxes. So that's the deal. He's going to give us the hammer that our Uncle Jordan used to start his life there. And he gave us some hints on how to kind of make money and how to survive. So there we go. Now we're ready to start. Now this is like a tutorial. So every time you hit one of these keys to bring something up, you're going to get an example, and then you go to the real thing. But we're ready to get started. So we've got a bunch of tasks up there in the upper right-hand side. You can see there a new beginning. We've got to pick up some sticks, some rock, create a stone axe by crafting it, cut down some trees, gather up some straw, which is really reed. When I first started playing, it really confused me, but it's reed. And build our first home, and kind of pick the site where we want to build our settlement. Now the interesting thing is you can build buildings all over the map if you chose to. But we're going to consolidate most of it. We will have a little spreading of stuff. You can see there I'm picking up a lot of rocks anytime I come across them. And the reason I went right down here to start with is I knew that this is a great area to find some rocks and some sticks and the things that you need. So I'm just trying to see, okay, now I need one more stick. Now we can get our axe. And we pull up the crafting menu, craft the axe. That broadleaf plantain, we'll come back to that. That's extremely important, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So we're going to keep on picking stuff up. And we're going to cut down our first tree. So what we're going to do is go into our inventory and pick the axe and put it as a hotkey. Our little quick list, we're going to make it number 4. For me, it's number 4. There's no magic in number 4, except that that's what I used like at the beginning, and now it's in my head. So an axe is number 4, period, for me. And the axe is, to me, the most important tool that you have is the axe, because it's you need it for cutting the trees. You also it's a very important defensive weapon. It can save you when nothing else will. So I'm actually going to build a backup axe and make sure I have a couple. One little quick tip is don't ever get out there like hunting or something and have your axe break on you, and then you're out there going, whoa, now what do I do? So we're going to go into the water here, pick up some reeds, just to get that task done. And you'll notice there's 2 kinds of pickups. The reeds, notice a little circle going around there. It takes a small amount of time to pick one up. When you pick up rocks and debris, the sticks laying around, they're almost instant pickup, so they're much faster. And were I a better player, if I were like a experienced first-person player, maybe I would go for more of the sticks to build up my skills. But I love this approach with the reeds, and I'll talk about it again a little bit later. But what we're doing here is actually building up our survival points. There you go. We just got one. We got a skill point. So we're going to build these, and we're going to go up there. They have levels, and we're going to go to level 1 and pick that. So now instead of getting 2 points for every time we take an action, like pick something up, we're going to get 3, and then you're going to level up again and make it 4, and then level up again and make it 5. So you get 3 additional, and that's what we're going to do because we really want to get to the down the road one called survival sense. And we'll talk about that when we get to it. But man, it's your one of your prime objectives. So speaking of which, I do have objectives for this first episode. To get off to get off to a great start, you want to get your survival up to level 3 in terms of the level 1 stuff. You want to get up to a 3 so that you're getting as many points as you can for each action, and you want to get survival sense. So that's one of our goals, is to get those 4 promotions, if you will, on the survival tree of our skill set. Second one is just do everything they're telling us to do to get our house built. And the third one is to get farming up and running this spring, this season. Do not want to miss a season. So I'm picking up some St. John's wort because I know that's going to be useful for making money. We'll talk more about making money later, but this is a different animal. This is not your basic tycoon game. There's a different way you make money. And I've got some basic rules that I like to follow for helping me stay ahead on the money, and we'll talk about those as we go along. So what I'm doing here right now is actually starting the money-making process, because what we're doing here, I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I'm not going to just run off and build my house because he tells me to, or to cut down a bunch of trees. What I'm doing here is actually, as I'm cutting the trees, I'm crafting actually right here spears, because spears pay you 7 and a log pays you 1. So you can cut down a tree, get 4 logs, turn it into 4 spears and make 28 coin on it versus making 4 if you just sold the logs. So that's, first of all, do value-added stuff when you can. That's one principle for making money. The other one is Well, and then gather stuff and sell it, like the St. John's wort that we saw earlier. Berries, we'll see berries coming up here in a little bit as part of the deal. But the way you make money, since we're on the topic, is you basically gather up whatever. You create stuff, you craft stuff that has value. You just pick stuff. You pick up sticks, so you can sell sticks, whatever. And then you go into each of the towns, and they have different vendors. Like this, the big city here, Boristova, I think it's called. It has the Unigoth, who's a vendor, and it has a lady who sells the garden stuff, the farm stuff, the seeds and what have you, and another guy who sells manure and some meat and animal products because he raises cows. And two of those, the seed vendor and the manure guy, are very important to us because for us to do farming, we need manure and seeds. And so, yeah, there you go. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stay near this town and work and keep chopping down trees and trying to make some money. And the goal is to not leave here until we have the manure and seeds we have to get our farming started right away, because it's one of the goals is to get farming started in this spring season. And speaking of that, there's 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, winter. We're in the spring, and each season has 3 days. So you can look up there at the very top middle. We're in the first day. You can see the thing kind of going around that half pie up there. It means it's about halfway through the first day of spring. And really, days obviously are months because 3-month season, a day is a month. So it gives you the day-night cycle and kind of the activities you would do in a day, which is really a month. You're doing a month worth of stuff here, and that's how the game tracks it. You can also see we're starting to get loaded down a little bit. So what happens, you pick up heavy items like rocks and logs and stuff. And straw, if you get enough of it, you can only carry so much. So that second little circle down there next to the main one down the bottom left of the screen is telling us we're overloaded. So what I'm trying to do here is craft some items to cut the load down so we can go faster. You can see we're chugging along because we're just too full. So what I'm going to do here is drop that straw that we picked up and lighten our load so we can move a little bit faster. But because we're so close to the city, I don't really care if I have full speed. I don't mind chugging this load in there because it's going to make a lot of money. And in fact, to that end, there's some berries, and we're just going to grab them. They're right there. They're fast. Every time you grab them, you get multiple berries, and you can sell them for 1 coin each. So every time there's a grab going there, we're picking up multiple coins, in effect. So we're going to go up here and look for the lady who sells the seed. That's her standing right up there on our left as we're looking at the screen with the little girl out there in the yard. I think her name's Adelina, is that right? It is, Adelina. So Adelina, I'm just making sure I can't craft anything, like make some firewood or something like that. And I always try to have a little conversation with them first, because you want to build up your diplomacy. I mean, there's so much to this game. You want to build up diplomacy so that you become better and better at conversation, and that allows you well, first of all, it allows you to recruit settlers into your settlement. So you can recruit these NPCs to come work for you or with you, and you can also have a little love life. You can start working on getting married. So your diplomacy ability, which also, by the way, has financial gain, you can develop abilities which allow you to get better prices. And speaking of prices, she's a vendor, so we've made some money. We sold a bunch of stuff to her, and we're going to buy 10 onion seed and 10 carrot seed from her. Now we're going to run up here. Our other guy, Solomir, I think's his name, is right over there to the left with those cows, but we're going to run past him and go up here and work near him and start making money again, because we used a lot of our money to get the seeds. Now we need enough money to get the manure. So we're going to start grabbing grabbing whatever's up here close by. And so we grabbed some branches and got some sticks out of that. We're going to cut down a tree and use that tree to make money. Again, you cut it with 5 hits. Or maybe I didn't say this. You cut it with 5 hits, and then you have to hit it 2 more times to turn it into logs, and then you pick up the logs and do with them as you will. So I'm going to make a hoe, because a hoe, again, I'm trying to add value to the price. We could just sell the logs, but we're going to craft other items. And I'm crafting spears because spears are 7 to 1. You get 1 coin for a log and 7 coins for spears. Now spears can be tricky because they're lighter than the logs, but they still have some weight to them. But 7, I'll take 7. So we're just going to keep working here until we feel like we've got enough gathered up to allow us to make enough money to buy the manure that we want. We also want that little feather there. They come into play down the road. We'll worry about feathers later, but if anytime we see one or we can get one, we're going to get it. So we chopped that up. We got our logs, and now we're going to start crafting them. And again, because I'm so close, I'm doing the spears because the spears are 7 to 1. 1 log, 7 coin is what that amounts to. Plus, we're getting crafting experience, so we're going to gain skill in crafting. Now, I have, like I said, I've never played a first-person game before. I mean, the closest I've come, I played Factorio, which you would think would be right up my alley. And a number of you have mentioned, geez, you ought to play Factorio. I'm such a bad driver. I mean, my character just goes all over the place. And if I try to get in a vehicle, oh my God, what a joke. But this one I seem to do okay. I'm not good by any stretch, but I can at least get where I want to go. And those were a little bit loaded, but that's okay. We're going to go down here to our buddy Solomar, very short trip. We're going to say hi to him. We're going to try to have a little conversation with him. Before I got there, I wanted to see, okay, can I do any more crafting and get a little more value added? And I can. I can get 7 to 1 for those spears. You can do firewood, which is nice because you can take 1 log. It becomes 3 firewood, and the firewood sells for 2 apiece. But as you can see, 7, that would be 6 for a log. If you convert to firewood, it's 7 for spears. So we're going to be arms dealers here for a bit, and we're going to sell the St. John's wort. We're going to sell the logs. We're going to sell all the sticks we picked up, and then we're going to buy 20 manure to match the total of 20 seeds that we bought. And now we are good to go. Now we've got what we need to do our farming. And there I tried to jump and just didn't do it very well. Basically, I jumped up in the air, but I didn't jump forward. Oh, God. So now we're going to run out to our starting place. Now, we can build wherever we want. I mean, this guy's given us license to, take land where we want it. And there's lots of places you could do this and lots of strategies. Now, remember we dropped off that straw to make our load a little bit lighter? And there's that log I didn't get. We're going to pick that up and take it with us, the straw and the log, and we're going to head for our new location. And I thought about it and thought, hey, let's go get some reeds. Let's go, there's plenty of reeds out here. Let's go back to our reed gathering. And what we're going to do here, now why do I like reeds? Because it's a slower action. Notice it's got the timer on it. It takes it a little bit longer to do one pick. But since I'm not a very good driver, I can just sit here in one spot and just pick, and get 2, 3, 4, even 5 hits from one location. I don't have to drive around a bunch. If I were better, I'd probably go out to some dense forest with a lot of sticks on the ground and just run around like crazy and make myself give myself motion sickness. Trying to pick up sticks because I could do it really quickly. But there you can see how quickly we're leveling up here. We're already up to level 2 of the survival knowledge. Now, we could have right there gone for that survival sense, which is the one you're really targeting here. But it just only makes sense to me to go for the max of the bonus on all the work you do down the road. So in other words, once we get this up to level 3, we're going to get 5 points toward our survival skill every time we pick something up versus getting 2 when you start. So you have to pick it for one level, and a lot of people I think are tempted to go straight for the survival sense because it's so important. But I strongly believe you should go 1, 2, 3, but maximize your bonuses, then go for the survival sense, because it just pays dividends forever. It's like the time value of an investment. It just keeps on helping you. So we're just going to pick and pick and pick and pick and pick here until we're pretty much loaded up with stuff. There, we just now hit the overload, so that means we can't run. And I actually haven't noticed it yet, but I will. Will soon enough here. And this is boring as I'll get out, but this is important to get that survival skill up before you go out into the wild, before you start hunting and getting out there and facing the dangers this area has to present. We have a nice little grass water. And I still haven't noticed it. I think I think I finally figured it out. I've got that one extra log that we picked up, so I'm going to craft that. There's no more crafting we can do. So let's run up here and see if there's something we can do to lighten that load just slightly. There's no crafting available, so I'm just looking really to see what could I do to quickly craft something, and there really isn't anything. So then I realized, hey, I need to eat something, so why don't we eat something and see if we can't lighten our load that way. So we're just going to chow down on some dried meat, and now we can run. Perfect. So we had our dinner, which we needed to have anyway, and we're down to our weight where we can actually run. Now the way that works is I hold down shift while we're moving, and it's a WASD kind of deal. Shift W to run forward, and you notice he started breathing hard, so he's sprinting, and his stamina, that's that far left bar, and you see it going down right now as I'm running. Well, you run, you go faster. You walk, you go slower, of course. But when you're running, you're exerting effort, and your stamina goes down. Same thing when you're doing something like chopping logs or building or something. Your stamina will start to decrease, and you need to kind of back off for a second and rest. So we let it recharge, and then we take off again. So it's just what's called anaerobic training, I guess we're doing, because we're doing sprints and stops, sprint, walk, sprint, walk, sprint, walk. And that's kind of how you move around quickly. So our goal is to get down here, down the river, and what we're looking for is a nice big flat piece of land with a lot of trees nearby and water nearby, and ideally reeds as well. So if you get reeds and water and trees and flat land, you got yourself something, and that's where we're headed. We're headed to an area down here that has all 4 of those things. Now I kind of scouted it out in advance, and it's right here where that fence starts on this road. Beautiful. It's beautiful because we've got flat land around us. We've got the water. There's even reeds nearby. So what we're going to do is just drop some stuff to get our load down. So we're just going to drop it on the ground. So dropping the things we really don't need to have. We'll we'll keep the axes. We're going to be cutting trees down. So I got a little space, going to eat a couple apples. And we got down under 11 kilograms, so that's probably pretty good. So now what we need to do is get some trees for a house, or some logs and sticks and straw is what we need to build our first little simple house. You can see with all this cutting we've been doing, we've also started building up points for our extraction. So you got extraction, you got farming, hunting, survival, diplomacy, and something else. So we'll figure it out in a little bit. No, I can't remember what it is. But we need we have to have 6 logs on us in order to place the house. Yeah, managed to catch that feather as it's falling, it looked like. Pretty good trick. And catching the logs when they fall, that one's an easy trick. That one's easy to do. And those rocks are just so tempting. It's just hard not, even though they're heavy, it's hard not to pick one up. Now, what I plan on doing here is putting our first house right there in that little strip where it's not really taking up a lot of space. It's convenient. And there we go. We just do craft of the house icon, which is the settlement, and you can place it if you have enough logs on you at the time. Each building that requires a different number. So what we're going to do here, we crafted up a hammer because we sold the hammer he gave us in order to help buy the seeds and the manure. But we crafted a hammer, and then we go into building mode. Once you open up the hammer, if you've got something you're building, you get these green and white colors to show you where you need building material. And then it'll show you as you get over on it and you put that little white dot. That little white dot, by the way, right in the middle of the screen, that's what you're following all the time. That's showing you where your focus is. It's showing you what you're looking at, what you're trying to pick up, whatever. So when you're building, you put that little white dot on the white or green area of whatever it is you're building, like in this case the house, and it tells you what do you need to build it. So I know that we need a bunch of sticks and enough bunch of logs and eventually straw for the roof. Logs and straw for the roof. So it's getting dark. This is getting harder. I'm pushing the envelope here by staying down there for 2 whole cycles of selling, if you will, for going out and gathering stuff and selling twice. The good news is we never left there until we had what we needed. The bad news is, we didn't leave there. It's already late. It's near dark on our first night, but we're still in the first day, so we're looking good. And you can see there, it's logs. Now it needs sticks. It'll count them down. The parentheses is how many you have. I just want to get rid of all of them, so I keep beating on it for no reason. Now we're out of stuff, and let's go get some more. Right across to the tree, just isn't going to cut it. I forgot my axe. Sometimes when they're turned sideways like that, it's really hard to tell exactly what you're supposed to do. And I'm sure those of you who play these kind of games more are laughing at me and thinking, I'd say, well, how in the world does he keep swinging and missing? But, I'll figure it out eventually. Okay, it really is getting dark now, so I picked our torch and hit F to activate it. So now anytime you hit F for fire, it's going to bring up your torch. Because it's getting so dark I can't even see the sticks and twigs and stuff to pick them up, or the branches. The sticks are one stick. The branches actually give you 2 and sometimes 3 sticks for one, but it's a slower action. It's that timed action again. So see, that stick is instant, and this branch has the little circle, but they're pretty doggone fast. And as far as just efficiency of picking up stuff, picking things up, picking up 2 beats picking up 1 every time. But as far as getting your survival points up, picking up 1 very quickly is better if you can move around, if you've got that ability to move around quickly and pick things up quickly. Now there I hit F again to turn the torch off, and now it's really dark. It's too dark to even cut the tree down. I think I lost a log here. I'm not even certain anymore. Now, again, you get those lights when you go into construction mode with the hammer, so don't really need the fire. And I want to burn the fire as little as possible and let it last as long as possible. Again, going around the walls here are sticks and logs, and we got these side panels up here, the upper panels that are logs and sticks again. And they've changed the sound it makes when you finish building a section. It's really a weird noise now. I find that a strange. I like whatever it was they had before, but a lot better. Sounds more like a slot machine. So I'm just checking it out now. I need logs and sticks here, and then we need logs and straw up on the roof. Go out there in the dark and lucky enough to be able to find the straw. There's the other stuff we dropped. We don't really need it yet. Okay, so we're down to about 3 logs. Looks like it's all we need. And we're pushing it here. This guy's putting in a tough first day on the job. He doesn't get any overtime, so what can you say? And here I think I lost the log. Now, when we get survival sense, that won't be a problem anymore, you'll see. But right now, we don't have it. So I hit the bonanza on sticks right there, that's for sure. Okay, that finishes the roof, and now we can finish the front, and bingo, we got our house built. So, one goal down, we got our house built. Now, we move to a new chapter. Chapter 2A they call it, which is, or Chapter 2, a survivalist, sorry. Chapter 2, a survivalist. So what we have to do now is prove that we can survive. So we're going to have to set a rabbit trap and make a spear so that we can hunt with, and then go out and hunt a wild animal. And remember that we want to get our farming started, but we've got any one of the days within this spring will work. If we plant them day 1, 2, or 3, they're all good as long as we can get it planted. We want to get it done and out of the way. So we're going to set our rabbit trap. I built it inside. We're going to go outside and find a spot for it. Again, it's so dark I can't even tell where I am. So there we go. We built the rabbit trap. We crafted it and placed it. So we get the rabbit trap. Now we're going to go back here and pick up the stuff that we dropped. It looks like I think we managed not to lose anything. That was good. So I'm lightening the load. I'm putting, we get a chest. When you build a house, it comes with those storage chests. So I'm lightening the load, getting rid of the stuff I don't think we'll need right away. And I think I had a slightly, yeah, I did. I had a slightly incomplete thought here. I was thinking about going straight to farming, but we can't farm yet. And why is that? Because we can create a hoe. We've seen that. We're going to need a hoe, and we're also going to need a bag, called a simple bag. And we either have to go buy one, no way, or we can craft one for 3 leather. Well, how do you get leather? You go hunting. So that's one of the reasons they've got it set up like this. Is the tutorial aspect of this early play is you want to go hunting now to next thing you want to do is hunt so that you can then make that simple bag. And once you have that simple bag and a hoe and the seed and the manure, then you can go into farming. So we're going to grab a quick nap. And there, when you sleep, you automatically sleep all the way through to the next day. So it's a big commitment to go to sleep. You have to make sure that's what you want to do, because you've now finished off basically a month. You've finished off a month when you go to sleep. Okay, we're gathering up logs. We're going to craft some spears. And I like to have quite a few. I'm not a very good shot, and man, you go out there and make a couple of bad misses, and then you run into the wrong critter at the wrong time. Not cool. So I've got 5 spears there. That should be great. And the other thing is broadleaf plantain. We really want that before we get out into the woods. So I'm thinking here now, they're wanting us to go hunting. There's that log I couldn't find the other night. And notice we've already gone up another level with our survival. But now we're going to go click it. Now we're on 3. So we're getting 5 points every time we pick something up. So there was 5 points right there. You need them because the gap increases, like from one level to the next. To get the next thing you want to get, it takes more points, so you're really going to get that going. So what I decided to do here is go back to the reeds. This is sort of the let's call it the poor player's way of really building up your survival quickly, is to just get out there in those reeds and pick them up, because you barely have to move. See, I'm barely moving, and I can pick up multiple reeds with one pick. So there's 1, 2, 3. That's 15 survival points, skill points I just got. There's 15 more. There's 20. So we're racking them up with very little driving. So this is, to me, the lazy man's way of getting your survival up quickly without giving yourself motion sickness while you run around in a forest somewhere trying to pick up sticks. And you need all these reeds or reeds/straw down the road. We don't need them right now, but we're definitely going to need them as we do more building. And so to me, this is the best way I've found to build that survival up quickly. And you'll notice I'm not going hunting until I have it, until we have the survival sets. So this is going to go on and on until we get enough skill points built up. It's actually not that long though. I mean, it really is quick. You know, it's early. It's the morning of our second day, and we'll finish this off pretty quickly because again, every time you hear that clunk of reeds going in the bag into our whatever it is we're carrying them on, that's 5 points. So we're picking up 15, 20 every time we move. So just a moment here, and we'll hit that next level on survival. Exciting, isn't it? And I keep hitting the Q, which brings up the crafting when I'm trying to hit W or A to move either forward or left. Probably I'm trying to hit the A and I'm ending up hitting Q. That's why that menu keeps popping up there. Told you I can't drive very well. There we go. So we've got our skill up. We're going to go down and hit survival sense. It says it shows you mushrooms and herbs and I forget what all, but actually the herbs matter. The mountain plantain, the St. John's wort, especially the mountain plantain, that's huge. But where it really you'll see later where it really helps somebody like me. I won't give it away, but later on, it won't even be this episode, but later on you'll see how it's a big help to me. So we're going to keep 16 sticks, enough to make a fire in case we stay out overnight. 16 sticks will make you a small campfire, so you can camp out away from your home. So we're setting up we want to be light, but we want to have we want to make sure we have stone axes. At least there's only one there. It's at 82%. I'd really rather have a backup just in case. This is being conservative here, but I definitely want to have a backup. So there we go. I just grabbed some rock and sticks out of our chest there to have that backup stone axe. And now we've got our spear set up as number one. Quick key number one for me. Number 4 is the axe, and off we go. We're just going to run as fast as we can to the south and see what kind of critters we run into. But before we get there, did you notice there? Notice first, breathing hard. Notice I hit the left Alt key, and that makes that stuff pop up, highlights it. So now that stuff's really hard to see. That little mountain plantain. See, you can be right on top of it and not see it. But now with it highlighted, you know exactly where it is, and we're going to pick it up and make sure we have enough. Now, why do we want this stuff? Well, if we go out there and we get attacked by an animal, and these things will attack you, foxes, boars, wolves, wisent, bear, they will all come after you. You get their attention or get in their way, and they will come after you. And if you get into a melee situation where you can't throw stuff at them or shoot them with a bow or something, you're in trouble. So now we're going to try to get a headshot, a clean headshot. Wouldn't you know it? Perfect shot. That was a little bit of luck, because what I was really trying to do there, the ideal shot for me on a deer is when they're down eating. So you've got the whole neck exposed and the head. So you have to aim the spear high and to the left in order to hit your target. So I was really aiming for the high shot. Didn't have it high enough. It was going to come out low, but he just put his or she put her head right down and just, her head got in the way of my spear, basically is what happened. So it looked like I made a perfect shot there. I didn't. That was luck. But I'll take it, because you'll notice I didn't stay out there. I'm done. Why? Because we've got a deer, which gives us 3 leather. Now we can make our bag. So now I'm picking a nice big wide open spot, and I want to build a big farm right off the bat, a big farm spot. And this is the one mechanic I really struggle with. They've improved it now. They give you the size. See, it says 10 by 3, 9 by 7. It's kind of flipping around. So as you kind of expand it, it gives you the size. And I want to build a nice big one. I'd love to do like 10 by 10 was kind of my goal, but see, 10 by 10 won't quite fit from where I started it. And I actually didn't mean to do that. I meant to actually stop and go back, but apparently, I guess I had left mouse button down or something, and it posted. So I got an 11 by 9, which isn't what I was after. I was really after 10 by 10, but there's no magic in 10 by 10, by the way, except the math's easy. It's 100 spaces that you can plant. And it does raise your taxes to have bigger farms, but money won't be our problem. Watch me eat those words, but money will not be our problem. So now we have to get a hoe and get our seed and our bag. We've got the simple bag because we got the deer and we crafted the bag. And now we need to build out a hoe. So we need 10 sticks for that. And we're going to go grab some logs. And I guess we could have gotten the sticks out there too, but again, sometimes when they're on the side like that, I struggle with knowing where I'm hitting. There we go. So we'll pick up our 4 logs and we're going to make a hoe. Check our trap, nothing, no rabbits. And we don't need this stuff. We can drop these. We don't need them right now. We're just going to drop them out there on the ground outside our house. And then we're going to make sure we got all of our stuff for farming. So we need the carrot seed, we need the manure, and we need the onion seed. And we need a hoe and a bag. So we're going to set the bag to number 8, the hoe to number 7, and we're going to head on out there to our farm. And notice it's not that close, doesn't matter. I've left that space in there to put buildings going out to it, and you can sprint out there so quickly that it's not a big deal. And I don't know how long I'll farm. I'm kind of tending to be a gentleman farmer here and probably farm this myself rather than NPC, but we'll see. Sometimes you need to go somewhere and you just as soon have a settler handle it for you, but I'm not sure that works perfectly. Now here's where that 11 is getting me messed up. The reason I wanted to do 10 by 10 because I knew I had 10 onion and 10 carrot seeds, and I knew it'd be easy to count if I just went all the way out and back in rows. I would have the right amount plowed up, but with the 11 it's going to mess me up, but that's okay. We get experience by plowing those fields, or grubbing the fields, I guess is the first step. They call it grubbing. So now we're going to pick our bag and we're going to put manure in it. So you pick the bag and then you spin that little dial to pick manure, and we're just going to go out here and I'm counting as I go. So 1, 2, 3, etc., to count out and get the manure laid on top of the unplowed field. So now it becomes a fertilized field. So you have ungrubbed field, so you grub it with a hoe. Then you have unplowed field, and you put manure on it. It becomes a fertilized field. And now that fertilized field, then you have to hit it with a hoe, and it becomes a plowed field, ready for planting. So I went out 10. I didn't take the whole 11. And we could grub, the whole thing if we wanted to, and give ourselves more skill points for farming. I'm not sure how the taxes work on the size of the farm, if it's the size you've set or how much you use. If anybody knows, please put it in the comment. That'd be useful info. But now you can see we've got fertilized fields. Now we take our hoe, and I'm going to move up and kind of do left, right, left, right. So you have to kind of stay for the whole animation, or you end up losing it. See right there, I moved away too fast. You've got to stay with it and let the animation finish. But you notice we've moved up a couple of skill points in farming. We've opened up the barn. Before that, I think we opened up the food storage. See, we'll get into that later, the food storage and resource storage and the barn and all that. But now with this one right here, bingo, we have 20 plowed spaces. Now we're going to switch over to our seed, and we're going to start planting seeds. So we've got our carrots going now, and we'll do 10 carrots, and you can guess what's coming after that. There's no magic to 10. I mean, you could start a much smaller plot than this or do whatever, but I really wanted to get the food going. And again, later on we'll talk about how you have to prepare to have settlers come to your little farm and work for you. It takes some setup. You can't just start doing it because you talk somebody. You don't want to just go talk somebody into it right off the bat. You've got to prep for it. And this farming is a big part of that prep. It's also a big part of your quality of life. It makes it much easier. It gives you cooking options so you can make good meals for yourself whenever you happen to be home. Now in this game, you're home some, you're gone a lot. That's just the nature of the game. But there we go. Now we've got 10 onion and 10 carrots planted in our, really, I wouldn't call it a farm yet, I'd call it our garden. And we're going to go back and get rid of the gardening stuff, and we're going to kind of wrap up this episode. So we are still in day 2 of our first season, spring, and we have managed to plant a good-sized garden of onions and carrots. We have done a little hunting. We have built our first house, and we've moved down here to a nice, beautiful plot of land that has water and reeds and trees and open spaces, and life is good. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it'll help you become a better player. I hope you'll like, comment, and subscribe, and join us for our next Medieval Dynasty video. Thank you.